All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Tactical Businessman. Again, I am your host, Garrett Bake. Thank you for listening in today. Today's topic, well, very simply, are you an asshole? So I want to tell you a couple stories. Last night, I went to a football game with my family. I went with my two sons and my daughter, my wife. And first of all, it's in Phoenix, Arizona. If you're any familiar with Phoenix, you know it's hotter than balls. So it was a 103 at kickoff, and it had rained the night before, so it was muggy and 103, and we were sweating like stuffed pigs. Really cool seats. We were 8 rows from the sidelines, trying to have a good time. Well, it's about 2 minutes after the game starts, there's 3 guys that end up sitting behind us, and one of those guys is the proverbial asshole. In other words, he's had too much to drink already. He's yelling and screaming at the refs who can't hear a word he says. He's yelling and screaming at the other team. He's just one of those belligerent guys like, oh, come on, you got, like, I'd love to say more of the stuff that he was saying. Let's just call it colorful language. And at first I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm at the game, it's that environment, so on and so forth. But as time wore on and he continued to say the same things over and over again, I started to get irritated. I started to get frustrated. And I found that my focus had shifted from the game to this idiot. Completely shifted. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So come halftime, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a conversation with this guy and be like, hey, man, let's settle down. I got kids. There's other kids around here. Just settle down. Well, he ended up leaving, right? And in my mind, initially, I was like, okay, cool, problem solved. But the truth is the problem wasn't solved. The truth is that guy, if he came back, was still going to be a problem. In other words, his moving didn't solve anything. Why? Because I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything. And I want you guys to think about this. Think about this when it applies to your business. Think about this when it applies to your personal life. Maybe you're not the asshole, but maybe you have one and you're just not dealing with him. How many times have you been called the asshole? Either by your wife or an employee or a vendor or a client? How many times have you been called an asshole? And instead of dealing with it, you did what? You ignored it. You pretended they didn't say it. Or you got mad at them and went after them. And last night as I was driving home, I was thinking about this. What is the pattern that exists in us that makes us think that this is how we need to react? In other words, what is the pattern that exists inside of us that says, 1, either it's okay to be the asshole, or 2, it's okay to have an asshole. We just need to keep our mouth shut and hope that they leave, that they move on, that they go away. See, we get taken advantage of each and every day. That's right. You and I both. We get taken advantage of. So the question becomes, how is it that we overcome this, right? How is it that as a businessman, a business owner, an executive, a CEO, an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call yourself, how is it that you keep people from taking advantage of you? Well, there's this little thing that happens, and it's a distinction, right? And it's something that I learned a couple of years back, and it's changed the way that I interact with people. This is what it is. There is a difference between facts and feelings. I'm going to say that again. There's a difference between facts and feelings. When you're dealing with facts, things get done. When you're dealing with feelings, you get stuck in this cycle of self-sabotage, as I like to call it. Why? Feelings will always lead you somewhere you probably should not be going. So I want to give you an example. Last night with the asshole sitting behind me at the football game, my feelings were, what? This guy's an asshole. Like, he doesn't know how to control himself. He's yelling and screaming and so on and so forth. Hey, he could just be a guy who's never been to a football game or hasn't been in a long time and is really enjoying himself and just doesn't know how. But because I don't know the facts, I am assuming, and therefore my feelings are leading, right? And so I'm getting pissed off. I'm getting distracted. I'm not enjoying the game that I paid a bunch of money to go to. Make sense? Same thing in your business. This could be with an employee, an employer. It could be with a vendor, a client. It doesn't matter. They're going to do something that's going to piss you off. Guaranteed. And right now you're probably in your car shaking your head. Like, yeah, he's right. And you're thinking of that person right now. Go ahead. Think of them. Picture them right now in your mind. What they said or what they did that pissed you off. Here's the first question I have for you. How long have you been holding on to that feeling? How long? Has it been days? Has it been weeks? Has it been months? Here's question number 2. What's the cost been? And I don't just mean financial. Sure, there's a financial cost if they're somehow involved in your business. But what's the cost been to you? And now I'm talking more about the space inside of your head, the energy that you feel, the frustration that you have, the guilt, the shame, whatever it is you want to call it. You're feeling something and it's been costing you, because as soon as that person calls you, emails you, enters the room, so on and so forth, whatever it was that you were doing, no matter how productive, stops because they have completely dominated you. Now, what is it that you can do? I want to share with you the formula that I use that has helped me and has helped the clients that I have, the men that I coach, so on and so forth, has helped them inside of their personal lives and, more importantly, inside of their businesses. Here's what we do. Okay, somebody pisses you off. Whatever it is that they say or did or whatever, somebody pisses you off. Take a second. Take a second. Now, it's really hard to say take a second, so do this instead. Take 3 deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. 3 deep breaths. And then ask yourself, what is it that I'm feeling right now? Is it based on fact or is it based on feeling? If it's based on feeling, you got some work to do. And here's the work. You need to go to that person, get a hold of that person, and you need to find out exactly what they meant or exactly why they did what they did without getting pissed off at them. This is really hard to do. How do I know? Well, I got 3 kids and I own a business. And you are probably in a similar situation. Take the time to, without getting pissed off, do some investigating. Why is it that you said what you did? Why is it that you did what you did? What is this going to allow you to do? Well, what this is going to allow you to do is say, I now know the real reason why you did what you did. I now know what you meant to say when you said what you said. And now your reaction is not based on a feeling that you had. It's based on fact. Let's be honest. Most of the time, what do? We overreact. 100%. We overreact. We'll shut them out of our lives. We'll ignore them. We'll send them to voicemail. We'll whatever, so on and so forth. We'll deliberately change our pattern of behavior based on what somebody said or did without knowing the root, truth behind it. How would your life be different if you understood that? How would your life be different? How would your business be different? How would your relationship with that person be different? How would all of these things be different if you took the time to figure out exactly what was going on behind the scenes? It sounds way too easy. Trust me, it is way harder than it sounds. I'll tell you right now, when my wife and I have a misunderstanding, whatever you want to call it, she says something, whatever. What do you think the first question is that I ask her now? It's not, did you really say that? Or, oh, you really want to go there? No, it's not that. The first question that I ask her is, what do you mean? What do you mean? What does that allow her to do? Well, that allows her now to dive down into the facts behind why she said what she said. It could be me leaving the toilet seat up. It could be me leaving the laundry out. It could be me, not cleaning the kitchen. Like it could be any of a number of things, but I don't know it. And therefore, because I don't know it, I cannot make a decision based on that. It's all fantasy. It's all feelings. It's all made up in my head, in other words. So I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you inside of your business. Find that person that has pissed you off. Employee, employer, vendor, customer. Doesn't matter. Find that person that pissed you off. And then what was it that they said or did? And then go to that person and say, hey, when you said this, what did you mean? When you did this, what did you mean? And watch when the explanation comes out. Odds are you're going to feel like an idiot because you didn't really understand it. How do I know? Yep. Happened to me too many times. And I can't tell you how many times with my clients I've told them the exact same thing and they've come back and said, yep, overreacted on that one. So save yourself the mental bandwidth, save yourself the time and the energy, the frustration, the anger, the guilt, the shame. Save yourself all of those feelings. Save yourself by asking yourself or asking them, what do you mean? When you said or did that thing, what do you mean? What does it mean? Because there's a certain number of hours in a day that you have. There's a certain number of hours you're going to be spending at work. There's a certain number of hours you're going to be spending with that person. Why would you waste that time? Why would you waste it? Quit wasting it. All right, that's all I got for you today. You guys know the drill. It's easier to stay ready than it is to get ready. Take these tools, these tactics, these techniques, and start to deploy them into your life. They're meant to make you a more elite husband, father, businessman. Do it. Trust me. You will thank me later. All right. That's all I got for you. You guys know the drill. If you need something, reach out to me. Remember, you can go to winthedailywar.com. Still working on optimizing it, not going to lie. I've been struggling quite a bit with WordPress and finding somebody to help me out. So, but it will get there. Believe me, it will get there. But if you have a question, an issue, so on and so forth, you guys know the drill. Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. All right. As always, stay safe. We'll see you guys on the next one.